Hello, in this program we're going to calculate the most efficient amount of change. So if the user wants you to give them change for $1, the most efficient amount of change would be 4 quarters. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need is a variable of the double type. And the reason for this is, what if the user wants 94 cents or $1.56? Integer wouldn't be able to handle decimals, so we're going to need double x. But we're going to also need an integer, let's call it y, in order to get the correct change, so you can use a modulo operator. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need is to tell the user to enter the quantity, and the user will enter the quantity x. So now we're going to want to change this x into an integer called y. So we're going to do y equals x times 100. What this does is it's going to turn everything into an integer. So if the user enters 19.40, this is going to become 1940. Alright, so now that we have that dealt with, we're going to proceed to tell the user what he will need. So you will need, so the first thing we're going to want to do is divide this quantity by 25 so we can get the quarters. So this will get the quarters, so we have to write quarters. Alright, now what we have to do is find the remainder after dividing it by the quarters, and that is done by using the modulo. So now we have to change it to y equals to y mod 25. So after quarters comes dimes, so you will, alright, so now we can write a comma, y divided by 10 to get the dimes, and just write dimes. So now y is going to equal to y mod 10, because we want to get the remainder after the dimes. Now we tell the user the amount of change she will need for the nickels. So divided by 5 and write nickels. And lastly, you will need the pennies. So after finding out the remainder, I'm going to tell the user they will need y divided by 1 for pennies. And that's it. You return 0 and we run the program. So let's say the user wants the best amount for 50 cents. It's obviously 2 quarters, and it's going to say 2 quarters. Let's say something more difficult, like say $50 and 33 cents. It's going to say we're going to need 201 quarters, 1 nickel, and 3 pennies. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful.